Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Shad and we're here with another different type of video that we haven't done before on the channel, and that is making a tier list for the Western Conference playoff teams. Now it is very premature. Of course, we're still in the offseason. There are still some big names that haven't been picked up, like Colin Sexton, like Dwight Howard. There are still some trades that may have to happen, like Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving, or et cetera, et cetera. I just wanted to give my thoughts on where I thought these teams were going to land in terms of playoff contention. It'll be a super simple video, nothing too special. We will be giving a little bit of analysis per team as per usual, so make sure you like that video. Dallas Mavericks. Okay, so the Mavs are interesting, right? They picked up Christian Wood, they picked up JaVale McGee, they lost Jalen Brunson. Their issue last year was play from the bigs, in terms of being rim protectors, in terms of being really good rebounders. They just couldn't compete too well with other big men in terms of like championship level. Their team defense was really good. Like, I will never take credit away from the Dallas Mavericks in terms of calling their defense bad. I have them around the 5 to 6 tier. I think when you look at the loss of Jalen Brunson, who brought some actual reliable backup ball handling, it's a lot to lose, especially for the construction of this Mavs team. But with Christian Wood coming in, and hopefully with another offseason of development, he like shores up his offensive game, his face-up 4 game, and is able to do a little bit more off the dribble, because that's exactly what they're looking for. With Spencer Dinwiddie finally being off the bench now and being like the main backup ball handler, you're probably going to look elsewhere to help contribute to that problem as well. So the Dallas Mavericks are definitely like a 5-6 seed for me. Good old Denver Nuggets. Okay. I have talked about the Denver Nuggets a lot on this channel, so I won't go too far in depth. I have the video called How Far Can the Nuggets Go? You can go watch that if you really want like super duper depth on their playoff contention. But I do have them as a 1 to 2 seed. And then right up there actually is the Golden State Warriors, because as I was thinking about it before I turned on the camera and did this video, I was flip-flopping between the Clippers being the 1 seed and the Warriors being the 1 seed. I have Denver firmly at number 2, straight up. I don't think they're gonna win the conference. I do think they'll be number 2 though, like firmly. But I felt like with the load managing of Paul George and Kawhi, and you know, finally being primed for a really strong, or I guess another really strong title run from the Clippers, they're going to want to preserve those two as much as they can during the regular season. They picked up John Wall just for that purpose. Finally picking up a playmaker at the point guard position, that is very vital. So I have them probably as a really strong 3 seed. And don't take these borders like too strict. Like, yes, I do believe that the Denver Nuggets are going to be a 2 seed, but I also think that the Clippers are probably going to win just about the same amount of games as the Nuggets. So depending on how it falls, technically the Nuggets might be a 3 seed or might be a 2 seed, but I think these 3 teams in particular are going to be the ones that are fighting really closely for that 1 to 2 spot. And then the other team that is joining them in the fray will not be the Rockets. I think it's a little premature to call them a play-in team. There's still a lot of development that needs to happen over there, and with Jalen Green being the clear-cut number 1, right now you just need a little bit more around, and that's perfectly fine. So they are in the lottery tier. The Los Angeles Lakers. Good old LeBron, AD, and Russell Westbrook. Now this team's outcome and desires next year are fully dependent on whether or not they can get rid of Russell Westbrook. That team is ass. There is LeBron James, there's Anthony Davis, and there is quite literally C-list celebrity role players. Very bad. However, it's very hard to discount LeBron James. So for that reason, I'm gonna put them as a play-in team. I think there are other younger teams that just have gotten a lot better and have definitely better matchups against the Lakers than what the Lakers have against everyone else as a unit. Because LeBron James and AD match up pretty damn well against anybody in the league. But the rest of the team, with Lonnie Walker, Talen Horton-Tucker, with Thomas Bryant, with Damian Jones now I believe is on the team again. Yeah, they're a strong playing team. I see an 8th seed in their future, probably, maybe, but we'll see. The Memphis Grizzlies are an even more interesting team because they are dealing with the extended absence of Jaren Jackson Jr. And he obviously made all defensive teams. He was in talks for Defensive Player of the Year for a large chunk of the season. Mobile enough on the defensive end. He's got a 3-point game. He's developing his offensive game as a whole. There's a lot of potential lying within Jaren Jackson Jr. The problem, he's hurt now, and that's gonna hurt Memphis. Can Ja lead this team without his second in command? They lost D'Anthony Melton, who might not have been the biggest of asset off the bench, but he was also a very important contributing factor on this team. And it just is what it is. So losing him hurts. And also losing Kyle Anderson hurts as well. It's weird because I want to liken this fall that I think they're going to have this year to a sophomore slump. Things happen, team couldn't stay together, people are hurt. Where do we go from here? Put them in the play-in. They're just going to be too far behind at the end of the day. I think they're going to start off trying to stay above water and just ultimately not being able to make the big push that gets them out of the play-in. But these are subject to change depending on the where the rest of the teams fall. So we will maybe revisit that. I want to say the Timberwolves. I'm going to put them at a 5-6 seed. They were in contention for that playoff spot last year. And I think if you weigh everything that they lost versus getting Rudy Gobert, the values equalize just enough, and if not a little bit more, for the Timberwolves. Because they get that big defensive presence that they've needed at the center position. The team on paper looks really solid. And until we figure out the type of playbook that they're going to use or the type of schemes that they're going to use now with Twin Towers, we can't really speak on like technical potential of this lineup, right? And I think they're going to be above a play-in team, but this is obviously a big experiment, so we're going to have to see how it goes throughout the year. Now, this is the big agenda I've been waiting to push and have low-key been slowly building up to, and that is the Pelicans being a top 4 seed. Shout out to Dre over at Between the Lines podcast. Both of us are stupid high on the New Orleans Pelicans. Personally, for me, I love Zion. This is a point that's brought up so much, but the whole 27 on 60% shooting, it means so much to me. There's Brandon Ingram, who took a leap, especially as a playoff riser. We saw in the playoffs last year against the Suns. CJ McCollum as the veteran leader and playmaker and facilitator on that squad. Herb Jones, another year of development, probably an all-defensive team appearance coming up. There's a lot to be excited for with the Pelicans. And then the Suns, because the West is so strong and because of how I rated the teams before, the Suns ended up being a play-in team, and I don't think that they're going to be a play-in team. They didn't really change. I just think there might be a little bit like chemistry issues. But other than that, like the Pelicans are staying up there because of my agenda, and I don't mind that. So I'm going to put them at the 5 seed, and I'm going to move the Timberwolves down to the play-in again because it is an experiment. And I felt like because Luka only gets better, he's adding a hook shot to his game or some secret move that they were talking about. I'm gonna keep them there. Suns will be a 5-6 seed. And also, I want to reiterate this point. I feel like the win total differences between each of these tiers is gonna be so minute, especially out west. Like, it's gonna be something to watch because there's gonna be like plus or really highly above 500 record teams that are gonna end up in the play-in just because everyone else was also as good. Which then puts the rest of these teams, like the Thunder in the lottery, between the Trailblazers and the Kings, who do I think is going to get the last spot in the play-in? Because the Spurs, I can easily tell you, the Spurs and the Jazz are going in the lottery straight up. These teams right here just are not ready for it. The Spurs just started a rebuild. The Jazz are soft rebuilding, and then the Thunder are also rebuilding and are probably 1 year off of being right here. But I could also see the Thunder moving up here as well. Matter of fact, we're gonna add a row. We're going to put the teams like the Thunder up here. We're gonna put the teams like the Trailblazers in the play-in because I do think, and if nothing else, Damian Lillard is gonna get you in a position to maybe get to the playoffs. For the Thunder, it's more or less that duo of Shea and Josh Giddey. Like, I'm not gonna have super dumb expectations for Chet Holmgren because he is a rookie coming into his first year in the league. But I also believe that Giddey and Shea's games complement each other so well. And there are problems because when Shea ISOs a lot, Josh Giddey ends up being in the corner and he is not a strong spot up shooter at all, which I believe is something he has been working on over the offseason. They're able to take turns running the offense, and Shea is a really good off-ball scorer as well. I feel off-ball scoring, but like creating plays for himself away from the ball. And for the Kings, they got 2 all-star caliber players. One actual former All-Star, and De'Aaron Fox, who is right at that cusp. They got Keegan Murray, who I think is going to be able to contribute super well. I really just want to be able to say that they're going to do something this year. I'm tired of talking about the Kings in a negative light. I'm going to be honest. Like, the team just, they don't excite a lot of people, and that's a problem. They're a mediocre team who likes acting like they're gonna do something in a game or in a season, tricking us for the first half of it, and then completely folding. But I'm going to wash it away, wiping all of my negative notions against De'Aaron Fox, against the Kings away, but I do want to see them succeed, finally. So there you have it, man. That is the entire tier list. Going down the order, let's put them actually in numbers. So the 1 seed, I have the Warriors. 2 seed, I have the Nuggets. 3, the Clippers. 4, the Pelicans. 5, the Suns. 6, the Mavs. 7, 8, 9, 10. And then these 2 could be playing teams with the Thunder and the Kings, and then the definite lottery teams being the Rockets, the Spurs, and the Jazz. So thank you very much to everyone who watched this video. I love this computer, man. I'm filming in 4K. I'm recording on my screen. Like, everything is just great right now. Thank you very much for watching this video. I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.